This recording is made for the celebration of our mother's 85th birthday. Now I will share my screen. Our mother was born to Dominador and Trinidad Levardo 85 years ago, the first of 7 children. Amelia of the A, B, C, D, E, F, G brood of their parents. Even at an early age, she showed intelligence and diligence, so her parents encouraged her to become a doctor of medicine. At medical school, she met Daddy, the third of her boyfriends, the second of whom became a priest. When asked why she chose Manuel or Manolo as they call him, sabi niya, gwapito daw at mabait pa. I cannot tell Mom's story well if I don't mention Manuel, who came from very humble beginnings, had to beg his way through medical school, and with God's blessings, his rich relative, Lola Choleng Sebastian, agreed to send him to FEU Medical School on loan. He had to pay the fees after he graduated MD, which he later did. After med school, Dad asked permission from Lolo Domeng to bring Mommy with him to Capiz, his hometown, since he had no place and no money to start a practice here in Luzon. Of course, Lolo wouldn't hear any of that. No one can take away his eldest. So he went from town to town in Cavite looking for a town with no doctor, and he came upon Carmona. He took Daddy there. He set up Daddy in a rented apartment with a few plates, some essentials, 50 pesos, and Mang Pastor as his errand boy. In a few months, he had enough funds to buy a second-hand car and pay for a wedding. And in a short while, I was born. After 1 year came Bibet, and after 2 years came Jojo. And after a long lull of 8 years, came our darling bunso, Debbie. So they set up clinic in Carmona, and there they built our home, made friends, got involved in civic groups like Mr. and Mrs. Club, and Mom was also active in the Catholic Women's League, the CWL, and later on, in recent years, she became the parish treasurer. It was in Carmona that we grew up. Mom and Dad were hard workers. They worked 24/7. Having inpatients met that there were no fixed hours, they were on call the whole time, year in, year out. They only had 1 week off, and that was Holy Week, when we would spend 1 week in Baguio or Tagaytay with our Catalan cousins. Summers were happy days. We either spent some weeks with Christine and the Libardo cousins in Lola's house in Cavite, or they stayed with us in Carmona, and some other days, Pinky and Inday Catalan and the Onglenco brothers slept over. And always, our bosom buddies, and that includes Nini, Arnel, Mimi, and Josie were there. Of course, Mommy made sure that we and our friends had merienda of puto, goto, pospas, ginatan, halo-halo, or whatever was available sa naglalako. Thank you, Mommy, for providing us with a happy childhood. Aside from doctoring, my parents also engaged in other businesses. They had a chicken coop right in our backyard. And I remember Mommy used to sew us little dusters using the colorful printed cloth where the chicken feed came packaged in. We, the kids, also used to sell eggs, and people would knock on our door, and we sold eggs and ice. Quite the entrepreneur they were. To help the parents with us kids, we had Nanay Hubing also, who had a big role in bringing us up. It was Nanay who taught me how to wash dishes, sew clothes by hand and by sewing machine, how to wash and iron clothes properly, how to cut vegetables, and cook. Early on in their practice, since Carmona was a small town, too small for two doctors, Dad looked for another town where he could start his own practice. And he found Santo Tomas, Batangas, where he did his clinic until late last year. Imagine 60 years of practice in that other town, Santo Tomas. As a young and solo doctor in town, they treated all cases, the usual cough and colds, asthma, TB, nanganganak, even simple trauma cases that needed stitching. I remember well because as kids, we assisted them stitching those patients with blood oozing from the open wounds. We also helped prepare the medicines, putting the tablets in small packets. So it was really not surprising that we all became doctors. We didn't know anything else. We ate, slept, and drank, taking care of patients. In all her business attending to patients, Mommy took the time to teach us one by one. Gigi, Bibet, Jojo every day when we were in grade school until grade 6. And then later, Debbie. But aside from school matters, Mommy taught us values. She taught us right from wrong, always be fair, do the right thing, work hard, dream big, plan ahead, be organized, give to those in need, never miss Sunday Mass, and pray. Early on, she started sponsoring seminarians through philosophy and theology school. They paid for their tuition. And I remember Saturdays when these young seminarians would come and visit us, and Mommy would prepare merienda, and they would sing to us with their guitars and angelic voices in harmony. And I thought to myself, when I grow up, I'll do that as well. I will sponsor kids who want to go to college. Up to now, Daddy has a scholar, a young seminarian who is finishing philosophy in Capiz, bound for UST for theology next semester. Later, Daddy bought tricycles, and then jeepneys, and then trucks that haul gravel and sand as a side business. Then they converted part of our house to become patients' rooms. 2 rooms a starter for those patients that needed confinement. And later, they acquired the lot next door and built the small hospital. From them, I learned also business aside from medicine. When I was finishing grade 6 at Santa Catalina, Mommy decided to transfer us to Assumption in Makati. And at a time when there was no South Luzon Expressway yet, and so we had to be interna. We were boarders. I was grade 7, Bibet was grade 6, and Jojo went to Benedictine Abbey. That started us on being independent at such a young age, as we had to be responsible for our clothes, clean up after ourselves, wake up early so as not to be late for school, be prudent with our baon for it to last the whole week. Thank you, Mommy and Daddy, for sending us to good schools. From there, Bibet and I moved on to UST for college and later medicine. In the summer break between first and second year of medicine, Mommy sent me to travel to Europe, imagine, by myself. At a time when there were no cell phones, not even a landline in Carmona, buti hindi ako na-taken. I went with a Filipino tour group and further learned independence as I had to be on the lookout for my luggage and all my things, be prudent with my baon to make it last the whole month that I was there. That was indeed life-changing for me. It taught me how to be an adult in the real world. Gave me the confidence that if I survive Europe by myself, I can take on the world. The following year, Bibet also went to Europe, and later Jojo was sent to America. Again, thank you, Mommy and Daddy, for that gift of travel, allowing us to see the world and learn. Later on, as we finished medicine and went on to train in each of our specialties, Mommy and Daddy continued to support us, even as our little families grew. From apartment rental, gasoline, car, diapers, yayas, medicines, groceries, everything we needed, they provided. We couldn't have finished all of our training if they did not help us. Thank you, Mommy and Daddy, for starting us off on our careers. When I was finishing internship and applying for residency, I applied in 9 OB programs because I wanted to be an obstetrician. And I only applied in one internal medicine program. But mommy said that my mind is more of an internist, more than a gynecologist. Being a good girl, I listened and I obeyed. Then when I was finishing IM, I chose pulmo to be my subspecialty. Mommy said, no, you'd be better off being a cardiologist than a pulmonologist. Again, being a good girl, I listened and obeyed. Thank you, Mommy, for knowing what is best for me and for guiding me where I should go. Later, as we moved out of the house, Mom and Dad started ballroom dancing regularly, twice, 3 times a week. Sometimes, she made us participate in their big events. In one occasion, Mark sang and we danced. I think this regular dancing contributed to their good health and long lifespan. When Mommy had a stroke in 2016, almost 6 years ago, it was devastating. We were all shocked. We were all stunned. It took a while for us to get used to the idea that Mommy wouldn't be Mommy anymore. Whereas she used to be queen of her little kingdom in our Carmona household and clinic, she became our patient. She became our baby. We became responsible for her. Over the years, my siblings came to visit yearly, sometimes even twice a year up until the pandemic. My brother Jojo was just here a month ago. He came as soon as the restrictions were lifted, and he is planning to come home again mid-year. My sisters, Bibette and Debbie, came home to be with her on this milestone birthday. Our care and devotion to her is testament to how good a mother she has been to all of us. So it has been 6 years with Mommy and about 2 years that Daddy also got sick and weak, and we couldn't have survived without our angels. So I would like to take this moment to say a big thank you to them. But we also made sure that Mommy wouldn't get bored. So we enrolled her in painting class, in voice lessons. She had still regular PT. We celebrated anniversaries and birthdays. The first of the angels is Janine, our niece. When Mommy had a stroke, she already had a job, but she resigned so that she can take care of Mommy. After several years, when Daddy got sick, the same thing happened. She had a job, but she wanted to take care of Daddy, so she resigned for her job. Thank you, Janine. Then we also have Janet, Neneng, Rhea, Marie, Jen, Avik, and Jackie, and Efren, the angels in Carmona who are taking care of the parents. That's Jen, the night nurse. And then we also have a set of angels in Susana Heights because weekly they would come and visit and we would take walks in the village. So our angels also prepared the foods that they like. A big thank you to all of you from the Catalan family. We thank the Lord that we are given the chance to take care of Mommy as she took very good care of us as we were growing up. While it is true that every person determines his own destiny, my siblings would agree with me that we had a good head start because of our parents. A large part of what we are today, we owe to them. So that's Bibette. This is Jojo's family. That's Debbie's family. Thank you, Mommy and Daddy. Thank you for setting us on our way to good and meaningful lives. And to our Mommy, happy birthday. We wish for you more happy years, good health, only a few sad moments, and most importantly, in the end, heaven.